So tell me, what attracted you to the book?
It's the Brazilian producer of the film, Rodrigo Teixeira, who had the rights to the book, and he sent it to me through my French producer. And I read it, and it's a journalist's book. It's a bit of a partisan book also, so I kind of used what to me felt like a documentary, and I used it as raw material for a screenplay, but really what interested me was the human side of the story, more like individuals can be crushed by the wheel of history.
What were some of the production challenges?
Shooting in a country where you have nothing, where everything is difficult. Even to send money to Cuba, it's difficult. It was difficult for the set design, it was difficult for the costumes, it was difficult in terms of anything that has to do with the technique of filmmaking, because it's just you have to bring everything, and they don't have the experience of working on that kind of format of movies. So every morning when I was waking up, I felt I was going to the war.
I mean, obviously it adds a whole, visually it's beautiful to be there, but why was it important to actually shoot there for you?
Well, because it was impossible to make that movie anywhere else. I mean, at some point we had, the Cubans turned us down. They didn't want us to shoot there, so we started trying to figure out where in Central America or in Latin America, in South America we could shoot. And there's no place like Cuba, which is meaning you have this incredibly beautiful colonial architecture crumbling, falling apart, and it's both very sad because you have to experience the misery in which the Cuban population is living, but at the same time, of course, it's visually very powerful.
This film is a very special film because first of all, it's a film about Cuba in a very specific moment in the Cuban history. I was always very interested in a Cuban history, though Cuba is a place where everybody has very superficial opinions. So the fact that we were living there and experiencing living in Cuba was for me a very strong life experience. But and also there's another thing in this film that is very attractive for me, which is the fact that I had the chance to work with Édgar from Venezuela, with Gael from Mexico, Penélope from Spain, Leonardo Sbaraglia from Argentina, Ana de Armas from Cuba. It's a cast that you don't. It's really rare to see so many Latinos in one film.
It's a story of a spy, and I think that literature and cinema have been both obsessed and fascinated by the archetype of the spy, because it is the ultimate exercise of split personality, and that to any actor is a dream.
Speak about what you admire about Olivier as a director.
Well, he's very free. He gives his actors a lot of freedom. At the same time, he's very precise in what he wants. So it is a very complex and interesting combination, because he knows exactly what he wants, he knows what he's looking for, and however, he opens up the room for his actors to improvise, to be free, to explore, and that is not very common.
This woman has had such a complicated emotional journey. Can you speak about playing that out?
Well, I do like complicated characters. No, the more complex they are, and the more different they are from each other, from yourself, more possibilities you'll have to create something interesting. So I'm not scared of that. We always look for that.